Good day, fish tankers. The filters in our aquarium. Should we clean them? The answer is yes. Is it possible to clean them too often? And if we do, is it possible to harm the aquatic life in our aquariums? Once again, yes and yes. But how do we know when to clean them and how do we do it? If those are answers that you are interested in, then stick around. Okay. If you do this as a YouTuber, clap your hands and means things are just about to get serious. Just joking, but I always laugh at YouTubers that do that. The first thing that I'm going to tell you is what never to do, and I've said it many times before in videos. I'm going to keep telling you that because it will save you a lot of lives and heartbreak. And the first thing you never ever do is take all the filter media, that's the stuff inside your filter, and throw it all out and put in new media, or go and wash it under the hot water tap. I did that as a little kid when I first started and wondered why my fish died. Why don't you do it? Because you'll kill all your beneficial bacteria, you'll have an ammonia spike, then a nitrite spike, and you'll kill off all your fish. You can take that to the bank, so never do that. That's why I don't like filters with these cartridges. Those little plastic frameworks with a fine media that's sort of like batting or filter floss impregnated with carbon, because if you throw all that out, you throw away your beneficial bacteria that's on it as well. So if you must have those, only use it as a supplemental filter for mechanical filtration, or else just replace one cartridge, and the other one you can replace at least 8 weeks after that first one. But I don't like those filters. Try and avoid them as a primary form of filtration. Now, the thing is, when should you clean your filter out? Now, that is a question. Can you clean it too often? Yes. If you clean your filter every week, it's going to be a problem, because every time you clean the filter, even if you do it the right way, you kill off some of your beneficial bacteria. And if you do it every week, you'll kill off almost all of it, and it won't have enough time to recover before you clean it off again. So it doesn't recover enough in a week. If you clean it every week, there won't be enough beneficial bacteria so that it can withstand the cleaning and still have enough beneficial bacteria left so that it doesn't affect your tank's water quality. So you shouldn't clean it too often. Once a week is definitely too often to clean your filter, unless you just move a small part of mechanical media like a bit of filter floss or whatever, and the rest stays. But you should, once a week, then you should add another filter to your tank, or get a bigger filter while moving over the old media. Once a week is too much. I clean my filters. It differs from filter to filter and tank to tank. Usually every 6 weeks or so is when I clean my filter. Some I might clean more often, the smaller ones, that's more mechanically based, but still that won't be more than once every third week. So that gives you an idea more or less. So how do we know when it is time? Now, if you have a big budget, like some of the bigger YouTubers, hint, hint, and you get some really great products like EIM has got a filter that runs on an app on your phone, and the app tells you when the filter is getting clogged and it's time to clean. But for us mere mortals, how do we know when to clean them? Okay, look at your filter's outlet, whether it be a hang-on back, whether it be an internal power filter. Look at the outlet and take a mental picture of a flow when that filter is clean. And look at it when the filter is dirty. Just pull it up above the water. You can see a flow has decreased markedly. Look at this one. This is where it's running after a good clean. Take a mental picture of that, and then you'll see it decreases when it is getting clogged. Same here. There you see it with strong flow, and there it is much less. The same with the outlet on your canister filters. Now with sponge filters I can't do that. If you know a way to determine whether the flow is decreasing in a sponge filter, let me know in the comment section. But here I just work on a time schedule. I clean them every 6 weeks. My sponge filters aren't coarse like the Aquarium Co-op ones. They're sort of fine sponge filters, not the very finest, but on the finer side I clean them every 6 weeks. I just have a time schedule. Now there you see my power filter. You see it's very dirty and it's clogged. That's why the flow decreases. And you just clean them in a bucket of aquarium water, never under a hot tap, people. And you don't replace them. You just clean that sponge. Look at all the muck getting out under that. Then the pumps, you need to take a look as well if you have water pumps. Because often you see people saying my pump won't start, and that's why. Because it gets all sort of slime and muck in it. You can open it up and you have the same here with a hang-on back filter. First, I take out the media, Same as with my internal power filters, where I take out those sponges and I just drop it in a bucket of old tank water. And there you see is the biomedia in a bag. I just rinse it out in the tank water like that. Anything that gets stuck there, there's a sponge, and I will just rinse out the sponge. Same thing. Sometimes I have some filter floss on top. That part I will throw away. So there I just rinse out the media basket, and then after I've washed it, I'll just put it right back in the basket. But now there's a different thing. I want to clean out the intake and the pump, and sometimes the detritus drops back. You do the same with your internal power filters and sponge filters. You just put a plastic bag over it when you lift it out. And there you see all the muck on the pump of that hang-on back filter. I just sort of shake it loose, and then I open the pump. All of them have a way you can twist it open. Look in the instructions if you're that kind of a person. There's the impeller. I lift that impeller out of the impeller well, and I clean it off, usually with a little toothbrush that I keep for aquarium purposes, or a little brush from this pull through from a canister filter hose. I just use that and clean off my impeller. Here's the sponge filter, the one that is air driven. I just take that sponge out and I disassemble and I clean it in the old tank water, just like that. And here you've got to look out for something else as well. You just take the sponge, we've cleaned it out, you see there's a lot coming out, and this I run it with an air stone with sponge filter. So every 6 weeks when I do some maintenance, I take the air stone out, because they do get clogged and it will cause back pressure on your pump and shorten your pump's life, and I just replace it with a new one standing there. So I just replace the air stone on my air driven sponge filter. If you don't have an air stone, don't bother. Before I put it in, I just test the air stone, because sometimes the air stones have manufacturing errors and they let the air loose where they shouldn't, and then I just put the sponge filter straight back in the tank like that, and there it is working. And the same with the hang-on back, I put everything back. I added a bit of filter foam there, filter floss on top for mechanical filtration. And then after a while, you can see the filter floss got dirty. It's starting to bypass, these titles bypass, they don't clog. They clog, but they react to it by bypassing. That's how you see. And I'm just going to take that filter floss out and simply replace it. Now, if you have chemical media like carbon, usually it's also in a little bag, or Purigen, you can recharge a Purigen with carbon that you replace and you throw away. And make sure that your outlets are close to the surface, just under the surface like that power filter there, because it helps to cause surface agitation. You don't want to put your outlets too far underneath the surface, because then you don't get good oxygen exchange. To me, it won't matter, because I have that bubbling sponge filter anyway. But I like it like that. If you don't have an air stone, you need to do that. You need to have your outlets close to the water surface where it creates agitation. Look here at the outlet of my hang-on back as well. Well, that's that from me, guys. Please remember to share the content. If you found it useful and you think it might help another fish keeper, please consider subscribing. And until I see you again, take good care of those domestic denizens of the deep.